Ohio Minasan, hier ist wieder Damke, euer Bob. Und jetzt geht weiter mit Higurashi, When They Cry. Wir sind in Keijis Wohnzimmer und wollen jetzt unser lecker Essen essen. Und wir werden direkt mal herausfinden, welchen dieser Reisdreiecke, ich glaube das waren diese Oha-Dinger, diese dreieckigen Reisdinger, wo manchmal meistens eine Füllung drin ist. Und die wahrscheinlich sind es lecker, ich habe es nie gegessen. Naja. Mal schauen, welcher davon von Reina gemacht ist. Und es geht weiter, ne? When I look close, there's one that's made extremely precisely. It's easy to see if I look closely. I guess whether this one is Reina's or not is the question. I try to think very calmly. Mion said her grandma made tons of ohagi and she wants to share. Then that means the 4 are from those tons of ohagi. What about Reina then? She probably made only 1. That means she spent plenty of time making that one. Therefore, E is Reina's ohagi. For a second I thought maybe it's Mion's trap, but I guess not. If Mion made it, it's one thing, but Reina is the one who said she made it, so this can't be the trap. But okay, the cup of tea is ready. First, I will taste Mion's grandma's ohagi, the defending champion.
Not bad. Sauce, most green paste, and volume is half the...
The sip of tea makes it even tastier. Moment, das muss ich auch für euch nachstellen. Ja, so trinkt Keiji Tee. Oh, what a wonderful job she did. Okay, let's try Reina's. Its delicate structure reminds me of expensive Japanese streets. Although I'm a little worried about the volume. I take a bite.
This is difficult. This is a difficult decision to make.
They are made with exactly the same ingredients, so they taste almost the same. The only difference is the last step of shaping. That means the artistic impression and the volume will decide the victory. Nori with good volume made by the champion versus the well-balanced size ohagi made by Reina, the challenger. I've only taken a bite of Reina's. I should finish hers before I decide. Maybe there's some kind of hidden trick which might turn the table. I was right. My tongue touches something. It feels like it's not eatable. I use my fingers and take it out. Stille. Okay, wenn Keijis Hirnmusik... Was? This is what? Wenn Keijis Hirnmusik so etwas macht, ist es bestimmt nichts Gutes. Before my brain can process what it is, I throw the half-eaten ohagi with all my strength. When it hits the wall, the bean paste splatters apart. Then, after a pause, it falls onto the floor. So, entschuldigt die kurze Pause. Jetzt musste ich eben kurz essen. Und es kann auch direkt weitergehen. When it hits the wall, the bean paste splatters apart. Then, after a pause, it falls onto the floor. I'm stunned. What am I doing? How could I do this to Reina's homemade ohagi? As I look at the violent hand of mine, in blank amazement, I remember what I pulled out from my mouth. First I thought, it's a hair. But even if Reina's hair is shorter than Mion's, it's still pretty long. It can't be that short. Besides, it's too hard to be hair. It's thick enough to roll on my tongue. It's shiny like silver, and it's shiny like silver, and at the one end there's a little hole to thread a string. That's right. It's very similar to a sewing needle. Es ist eine, yeah, very similar. The tip is sharp too. Very sharp. It's really like a sewing needle. Wait, so what is it then? Something that's so much like a sewing needle? I can't find an answer. But the other me inside of me knows what it is and tells me by chattering my teeth. I can't get rid of the fear that's boiling inside. All of a sudden I taste the metal and start to feel the tingling pain on my tongue. To check if I'm bleeding, I stick my finger deep inside my mouth and feel. I feel like vomiting suddenly. The stomach acid irritates the back of my throat. I grab my throat with my hands, and after a little suffering, the urge to vomit stops. When I can finally breathe normally, then my heart starts to pound like a repeating bell. Then finally, I realize what was in the wagi. My hand moves quicker than my brain ability to process the word. Pound! Splatter! Smash! I throw the rest of the wagi onto the wall one after another. The geometrical design that's created with a splattered bean taste makes me think of something ominous. I look away from the wall and jump out to the hallway. I run up to my room and jump under the blanket. I embrace my own shoulders and keep screaming for the fear, mortification, anger and sadness. Das alles, während seine Hirnmusik eigentlich relativ ruhig ist. Interessant. Ich glaube, er ist zusammengebrochen, ja? Das ist so ziemlich das Ende. Meine Damen und Herren, unser Held Maibara Kiichi, der Meisterdetektiv. It's not an intimidation or threat or nothing simple like a warning that's been happening in Hinamizawa. What's happening? What's going to happen? I wouldn't know any of it, and that's not what's important. What did I do wrong when did I do that? It's clear that Reina, me, and maybe others too, are my enemies. They want me dead. I won't let them kill me, especially when I don't know what's going on. All kinds of negative emotions take me to an unmerciful sleep that's like a bottomless swirling swamp. Okay. Schlafen? Ach so, Abspann. Gut. Man könnte denken, dass die Schlafsequenz ein bisschen schneller ist. Also hat Kiichi eine Nadel beinahe verschluckt. You have received new tips. What about the drug that makes people kill themselves? Means. Das ist... Ja. Was würde das denn jetzt heißen? View unread tips. Mal kicken. So, what about the drug that makes... Mayonnaise. Was machen wir? Links, rechts, links, rechts, links, rechts. Was ist mit der Droge? Was ist mit der Droge? Was ist mit der Droge? Ich gucke mir die Droge an. Drogen sind interessant. Als wahrer Chemiker muss ich ja wissen, was Drogen so machen. I'll ask you a straightforward question. Do you know any medicine that makes people commit suicide? Not directly. That's an oblique answer. So you mean there's an indirect way? I meant there's a way to induce people to be in a mental condition to want to commit suicide. It sounds complicated. So what's the mental condition that makes people want to commit suicide? For example, with patients with manic depressive state. It's a state that they commit suicide the most when their states change from depression to mania. Okay. Mania is different from depression. Depression only causes several negative mental states, but many causes both this negative state of depression and a very active maniac state in turn. Patients with depression lose confidence and they are very pessimistic. But they don't commit suicide. They don't even have the energy to commit suicide. Once in the manic state, don't do it either. Once in the manic state, however, they are overconfident and active to that they think all things thrive. That's why they don't commit suicide.
That's interesting. Patients in either state don't commit suicide, but only do when a state switches to another.
They have suicidal wishes when they are in the depressive state, but don't even have energy to accomplish the big task such as committing suicide. However, when the manic state switches in, they gradually gain their energy and motor their control back.
I see. They regain enough energy to commit suicide.
You got it! That's why doctors give tons of psychoactive drugs to those patients to prevent them from getting ideas.
So, do you think Mr. Tomitaka was patient with the manic depressive state?
When those patients commit suicide, they commit traditional suicide, such as jumping or hanging or stuff, shooting themselves, or gory and splattery. Those are totally different from masochistic behaviors, like the ones caused by drug-induced downward spiral.
The way Mr. Tomitaka committed suicide wasn't orthodox, so it's natural to think it was a drug. I'll ask you again, please tell me about the medicine that makes people commit suicide.
There's a report saying that methamphetamine poisoning can cause a symptom similar to the manic depressive state. It's a stimulant drug, and another report says that derivate barbituric acid can also cause abnormal behavior, but it doesn't have moth. This one is a sleeping pill.
Why didn't detect any drug reaction from his body, did we? Any other possibilities?
The last possibility I can think of is some kind of disease. Some diseases that cause a disorder to the thyroid gland, such as Basedow disease, are reported to have a similar symptom to manic depressive state. But Basedow has its particular symptoms. He didn't have any of those.
Don't we have anything that breaks out more suddenly? Something that matches this case and makes people want to commit suicide suddenly?
Do you know acute organic psychosyndrome? To make it short and simple, it's a mental disorder that people can get when they damage their brains. Not only drug poisoning can cause it, but brain injury, encephalitis, cerebral vascular accidents, or a brain tumor can cause it too.
You're saying that there's a possibility that people can get into abnormal mental states without drugs?
He was surrounded by the suspects, his life at risk. It might be possible that he took masochistic action due to extreme tension that produced abnormal secretions plus trauma to his brain.
Can you explain that again in layman's terms?
In other words, he might have hit his head during the battle and became insane. Ja, das ist witzig.
That means the perps didn't mean to kill him. They hit him once just to try to pinch some change out of him, and unfortunately hit his head in a vital spot. Two chubby middle-aged men laughed together vulgarly.
I don't think that's the case here.
Obviously.
Whether it was caused by drug poisoning or a mental state, the victim's identity has the key to all. How is the investigation going so far?
Oh, look at the time. Uncle Shan is going to get mad if I don't get back soon.
Okay, good luck. Have a nice year.
We have a nice year too.
Ja. Und mit diesem interessanten Kauderwelsch beende ich auch schon diesen Part. Ich hoffe, er hat euch gefallen. Und dass ihr mich beim nächsten Mal auch wieder hört. Bis dahin. Tschüss.